that might be in your top three. How about that?
Well, one of mine that does pertain in particular to my kind of business is a book called Ready, Fire, Aim. I think any entrepreneur could get a lot from it, but certainly someone who's in direct marketing, to their products and services to consumers. It's an awesome book, and like I hate to just choose one favorite, but one I'll mention one more.
Okay.
Book way back in the day when I first got interested in real estate investing, and had just bought me with a couple friends our first investment property. One of the books I read that was a game changer, and many, everybody's or a lot of people have probably read it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Some good sound financial information that's not taught in school that really can change the way you just think about what you do.
Yeah, I would put that on the must read for just about any entrepreneur. Okay, favorite beer?
Well, right now, this second, it's not my favorite for its taste, but kind of a beer that I'm liking is called Appalachia by Wicked Weed.
Okay.
It's a session ale, so it's a little lower ABV, which is kind of nice. But my favorite style is IPAs.
Okay.
But that's been one I've liked lately. Just it's like my Bud Light of craft beer.
Nice. When you just kind of want to break from the IPAs.
Yeah, when I don't want to drink like some 7 or 8%er and be like,
right. So tacos or burgers?
Tacos.
Meat tacos, fish tacos, any particular type of taco?
Man, that's the beauty of the taco, is that it's so versatile. Man, I love it all. There's a place on Isle of Palms right near my office that opened up a couple years ago, called Poppy's. It's beachfront. It's got a little ocean view,
awesome.
And they've got a delicious beef taco, really good fish taco.
Speaking of perfect view, what would the ideal day be for you? What does that look like?
Man, an ideal day for me allows my morning to pretty much be wide open. No appointments or meetings with anyone else. Like my personal best working time for really thought work is in the morning. And, I typically get up, I might take my daughter to preschool, but I usually get to my office around 8 or 8:30. And that time from then until 11, just for me to do the highest leverage, highest value tasks that oftentimes take a lot of thought. And then, I love breaking around lunch and oftentimes, hitting the gym, grabbing a quick lunch. And then I guess ideal day, then in the afternoon, it would be some kind of get together or hang out with somebody work related. Sometimes when it's nice outside, I'm right next to the intercoastal waterway. And so we'll have what we call a board meeting. I'll invite a friend over for a board meeting, and we'll take the paddle boards out in the creek. And
boards and beers.
Yep, it could be up.
Nice.
So something like that.
So who is a person that inspires you?
The first person that came to mind is my grandpa, my mom's dad. Was just an amazing man, just down to the core. I'm glad I got to know him for a good chunk of my life. But he was a shining example of just someone who works hard, who cares about their family, and who just gives back.
Awesome.
So I fall way short of him, but he provides a lot of inspiration for sure.
That's awesome. So if you're on a deserted island, I usually say this question, you can take one person and one thing, but I'm not going to do that to you because I know you love Carrie and your daughter equally. So
leave one of my family members behind.
Right. So just one thing you would take with you on a deserted island.
I mean, first thing that came to mind, this isn't one thing, so maybe I'm cheating, but it was like a pen and pad, like paper and something to write with.
Okay. Awesome.
That might not be the most strategic choice to take with me on a deserted island.
I'm going to give a hint away to anybody that I future give this question to. A boat.
Obviously I'm a little slow.
No, I'm always looking for someone to answer a boat. I'm not going to be on a desert island. So
You want the rational answer. Yeah.
yeah. So here's some questions about your particular journey. Tell us a little bit about where you started and where you are now, kind of like the cliff notes, as you will.
Where I got started just in business originally.
Yeah, like kind of your progression. Yeah.
Cool, and I'll try to keep it somewhat short. But in the summer of 2002, me and a couple friends were living in Charleston on break from college on a summer break, and one of my friends met a guy that was in his late 20s, owned a few pieces of real estate, and was telling him about how he had them rented out and some of the benefits of investing and buying property. And that's what got us first interested in real estate. And we found ourselves shortly after in uncharted territories in Barnes and Noble and bought a couple books. One of them was like how to make your first million in 3 years or something. And there was another one about how to make money in real estate without tenants, banks, and rehab projects, I think was the name of it. But that was the beginning. Until then, like I really didn't know what I wanted to do. But once I discovered real estate and read a little bit about it and then started just reading business books and anything I could get my hands on, my mind was just opened up to a whole new world, of being an entrepreneur, building your own business. And my life was never the same. Shortly thereafter, when I went back to Clemson, me and my couple of friends that got interested in real estate went to a 5-day conference. And it was there that we decided to quit school and just dive in full time. So beginning at 2003, we went into business and did, I think, 12 or 13 deals the first year. Mostly single family houses in the Charleston area. Some of them we flipped, some of them we were holding on to. But I was really active in the investment business from 2003 through 2009 or so. Definitely learned some real tough lessons. It was like I led the Titanic into 2008 and it went down. About everything that you can experience in real estate that's bad or negative. I've been through it. I'm better because of it. I try to look back on it and definitely try to look at it with gratitude, because it's turned me, into who I am today and helped me become a better person, certainly a better business person. But yeah, my investing, like I kind of on and off would kind of get back into a little bit of investing and flipping. But I've always been passionate about sharing what I've learned in the business. And after the first year, I mean, anybody that would listen, I was willingly would spew why real estate was awesome and everything I was learning about it. So I knew at some point I wanted to teach. And it was, during the carnage of 2008 that I was like, you know what, I want to share all these lessons. I want to help other people not have to go through the some of these pains that I have gone through myself. And that's what really inspired me to start creating some courses from my knowledge. Today, most of my work hours and time are spent at Awesome REI. Where, as I mentioned earlier, we create online courses on different aspects of investing. And now we work with other experts who are out there, in the trenches doing deals every day. And we basically productize their knowledge and their experience and what they're doing in their business currently.
So it's really cool that you've pivoted so many times in your business.
Yeah, well, and even in the education business over the past decade, I've created a lot of different types of products and services. We even built out a couple different software programs, and we've done a few live events back in the day, and just we finally a couple of years ago kind of looked back at everything we had done in the business and really analyzed how the different projects and products and services that we sold went. And we were like, you know what? We've really only done this one kind of product and funnel like really well. The rest of it, we're just like mediocre at. And so we're like, all right, well, let's stop doing all the stuff that we're not that good at, and let's double down and go 100% in on the one thing that we've been best at, which is creating what's called like a front end product, the kind of product that is for customer acquisition. And we've kind of found a unique way to do what we do best and collaboratively work with other companies in the space and create some good win-wins for everybody.
That's awesome. So what would you say along your journey has been the biggest obstacle that you ever had to overcome?
Myself, my own limiting beliefs, my own fear. It's every, and it never goes away. As you grow or as you go through the ups and downs of business, you're always kind of battling against that voice in your head, that's telling you it won't work, or it's a personal fight,
I think it's good in that situation if you always have supporters or coaches around you that can help you battle through that. So that's really cool. Next question is, what is one thing that you wish you learned earlier on than you did?
Yeah, in the real estate business side of things, it'd be cash flow over equity. Equity can disappear overnight. You can't eat equity.
Yes.
But if you're in a really good cash flow position, and regardless of the market cycles and ups and downs of price, you can be positioned well to weather storms, unlike I was.
Can you talk a little bit about your goal setting process?
I would say it's changed over the years, and at times I've probably used just different personal development gurus, goal setting strategies and plans. For the last couple years, like I don't set many goals. Like way back in the day, I remember my mentor in real estate. At the conference, he had everybody write out 100 goals,
gosh.
And it's pretty tough once you actually try to do that. And also a fun process. But instead of having a lot of goals, I just try to focus on a handful each year. And with my company now, we have a budget that my CFO builds out for us. And in essence, the budget that he builds out is all of our goals for the company. And then outside of that, I'll every few months or so, I'll just kind of write down a fresh list of where my focus is. A lot of times 3 to 5 things. Like for instance, one thing that I did beginning of January to help me be more consistent on the exercise side of things, I decided to just do a personal trainer once a week. Like I'm pretty good at getting into rhythms and being able to then, hit it consistently for a while. But then oftentimes, like I'll be out of town and get derailed. I'll have some small little injury that sets me out for a week, and then I'll get derailed for months and be out of it. But on the exercise side of things right now, my only goal is do the personal trainer once a week. I know I'm going to go in there a couple other times at least and do my lazy man's workout. Coming up in a month or so, now that I've been doing this for a couple, I'll probably up it to 2 personal trainer sessions a week. And, Yeah, I just try to limit the amount of things that my focus is on.
Okay. And I know you have built an amazing team, and I can say that because my wife works for you. Can you speak a little bit about how you put together such a great team?
Man, yeah, our team today, it's incredible. Everybody just seems so happy, and like the culture at the company right now, I'd say is maybe at an all-time high. And we probably doubled the size of our core team last year, which I think certainly, as when you grow fast, it can be tough to keep that culture. But as far as hiring, if like you're a solo entrepreneur now and you've never, you're wearing all the hats and you're doing anything, stop. Like, hire at least a personal assistant, to get a little practice hiring someone and delegating some work to them and managing them, because you're doing a lot. People are doing a lot of things themselves that are $10 an hour tasks. And one of the things that has been a big focus of mine, and really I'd say a big part of my goals the last couple of years, is there's this chart in Perry Marshall's 80/20 sales and marketing that shows you all the tasks that are in the dollar per hour that they fall in. And there's like $10 an hour, $100 an hour, $1,000 an hour, $10,000 an hour tasks. And so one of my big goals the last 2 years is get everything off my plate that's not a $10,000 an hour task.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty close. It's been pretty awesome seeing the evolution of it. And I just hired someone this past week to take one of the last things that's on my plate that's really a lot of $100,000 an hour style tasks. But to get back to team building, hire that first person, get them doing errands for you, get them doing paperwork, get them helping you be more organized and scheduling out your time and stuff. And then from there, as far as how we've grown the team, one of the biggest ways is through referrals. When we know what kind of position that we're looking for, oftentimes I put out the APV to the public, to friends of mine, other business owners, anyone who I might think might know someone who would be interested. Referrals are oftentimes your best leads.
Mm-hmm.
But on the hiring side, like for me, I'm not good at the hiring process and onboarding and training and managing. I'm probably not good at any of that stuff. What I did good early on in the business was hire people that were like A players, that were doers, that didn't need me to tell them everything to do. They jumped in and just figured it out. And then once our team got to a certain point and I hired a guy, JP Moses, then it became his job to do all of our hiring. And so I kind of, by finally having him on the team, and now the past year and a half or so, the majority of hiring for the company, he's taken over and done. Like, I've really been able to stop clogging up growth of our company.
Awesome.
Finally getting out of the way and letting somebody else who's better at it, who, all around is going to do a better job at it than I was. So that's a huge part of how we've been able to grow recently.
I think that kind of leads right into my next question about scaling. You've scaled your company pretty well. And basically what I would like you to answer is, when is the time that someone would need to know it's time to do something differently to help scale your business before an obstacle comes their way, an operations issue?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of times over the years in business where I thought I was at some tipping point and then it was going to just blow up. And most of those times I was incorrect.
Oh.
But yeah, we've grown fast. Like, we were doing a little over $1 million in revenue in gross for a few years, and kind of couldn't get above 1.5, and just were kind of bouncing right around there. And then in 2019, when we made the changes and stopped doing a lot of stuff we weren't good at, double down on what we were best at. In 2019, we grew by about 60%. So we did a little over 2 million. I don't mind sharing, numbers because I'm sure people will be curious.
Right.
But then last year we ended up doing over 7.
Wow.
And we almost killed our support team during that.
My wife can attest to that.
Last spring when we rolled out a new product that just kind of took off, and with everything that happened with the pandemic, it probably fueled some into our kind of products and services we sell, because ours is make money opportunities that you can do at home. But yeah, for a few months last spring, whenever our 2 main support staff plus 1 additional more admin was helping out, we really had to stop production of new products and catch up with growth. So over last summer, we halted new product development and put all our focus on building out the support department. And then our marketing team focused on some other important projects that we just didn't have time to work on otherwise. But we really had to hit pause for a couple months and make sure that we staffed up and built up to the point where we could really handle sales volume and whatnot. So it was a little messy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it will continue to be a little messy. And now we just try to prep our staff for that. And because we still feel like we're at a point where we can grow fast this year. And we're telling them, hey, things are probably going to get a little hectic and things are going to break, and we're going to have to change softwares and systems, as we hit certain levels, and just trying to prep the staff for it.
Okay. So let's talk about your individual skill set. As you've transitioned and grown in business, then your skill sets have had to change. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. And sometimes, it's not fun and it's scary. And I had a partner early on in the education info business. And he was at the time, he was running the company. He was the chief marketer. I was our kind of content and product and sales guy. Because at that time, all of our products and services were me as the expert. But when he was feeling kind of pulled in different directions and wanted out of the company, I did not want to lose Trevor. And, ultimately it's worked out for the best because it's forced me to take over the company and become a really good marketer and become the kind of person that can lead the company and be the CEO. But yeah, at the time when I bought Trevor out, it was scary. I didn't want to lose him. But I had to immediately shift into running the company and taking on all the marketing role that he was doing. Let's see, the biggest shift recently in regards to that was a little over 2 years ago when I hired a guy, Matt, as our chief marketing guy. I basically, where I spent all my time, I hired a guy that took it over. And so then I didn't have anything to do. I'm still involved in the marketing department, but in essence, I fired myself as our chief marketing guy when I hired him. And that really gave me finally the bandwidth to act like a CEO and to start doing CEO like things. And I remember two years ago, that spring, I'm Googling what does a CEO do? I'm trying to figure out what the heck am I supposed to be spending my time? Because I before that I had a lot of recurring meetings with different staff members and stuff. And once we brought on Matt and he took over the majority of the marketing, then if anything didn't fall into what a CEO would do, I cut it. I canceled it. I rearranged it. I had somebody else take care of it. And so my whole calendar just wide open except for one little block on Tuesday afternoon. And so a couple of years ago, I'm in my office here. I'm what am I supposed to do?
We'll go hang out at the beach.
But yeah, so it's been tough at times. It's challenging. It's scary. Like our business, one of the most important things is copywriting, is the sales letters and sales messages that are written to sell our products and services. And I tried to hire that out for years. My first internet info mentor said, you have to learn how to write copy. And I ignored him for years. But I finally went down the rabbit hole and just studied it for a couple of years, wrote a bunch of our copy, and like it's one of the most valuable skills in my kind of business. But it was an uphill battle, and it was like climbing Everest. And I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway. And now that's one of my favorite things about what I do is everything copy. And so sometimes I think, like I just heard Cal Newport has a book, I guess, that talks about like it's not just follow your passion. It's like find a skill that's tough to master, that's valuable, and through learning that, you find passion. And like that described exactly what happened with me with copywriting, which was kind of neat to see recently.
So would you say for anyone that's kind of just starting out that has to kind of rely on their own marketing, would you say that would be the number one skill that they should learn first if they want to do marketing?
For some people, well, either on the marketing side of things, either copywriting or traffic. If you can become good at either one of those, then you have a lot of leverage in this kind of business.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Patrick. It's been a pleasure having you on the entrepreneur journey.
Nice.
And I look forward to catching up.
Yeah, well, man, thank you for having me on. I love talking business, especially marketing, and it's cool to do this with you because we have known each other, I don't know, 15 plus years, maybe.
It seems like 15 years. It seems like yesterday though that we were hanging out in the condo.
Jeez, man, long way we've come. But yeah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it, and yeah, it's been awesome.
All right.